Hello and welcome to a game review. This one is a game I played versus Lowko on stream many months ago. So it's very old play, old patch. So the meta is different, build order is very different, unit choice is also very different. Springles was the best unit in the game. If you remember that meta, mass Springles. Anyways, just wanted to review this game and see what the differences are. Back then I was 1200 elo on quick match, and Lowko was like 1300, 1400 elo-ish, so quite a bit of a skill difference there. And I will just take a look at the replay and see what exactly have I improved. How did I come from 1200 elo to today's 14 to or even 1500 elo today. So what's the difference? What did I do differently? So right off the bat, the build order, you know, it's the usage of the scout is not efficient, and I didn't build second scout to get more sheep. Maybe I looked fast when I was spamming, but I wasn't really executing things in a more efficient manner. Like the scout was idling a little bit, didn't shift to kill the scouts, and my sheep were very kind of far from the TC. I could have brought the sheep closer to the TC as well. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't shift kill the scouts, which is you know, just a standard thing that I always do. But maybe because the map, you know, the map is it's a black forest. I think the pathing is always really random and weird. So it kind of makes sense that I have to guide my scouts manually a little bit. Anyways, obviously the farm wheelbarrow build was not invented yet back then, so I was just going for sheep and gold. Let's see, what else did I do differently? 7 on food is enough for aging up. Also, I didn't go for fishing because I didn't know any fishing build. It's hard to tell if I'm building worker or not because back then the UI doesn't include the production queue, so you can't see if I'm building or not unless you click on the building itself. So I had only one scout, so the sheep is limited, kind of. But there are a lot of resources. You could build a mill there to get a fish, you could build a mill here to get a deer and a berry, or just go for farming. Obviously it's the best for English, and very nice bonus. Alright, let's speed up a little bit and see what's happening in the game. Council Hall. So, my game back then was a little bit confusing. Like I was at this stage where I don't know what exactly my goal was. What am I going for? Am I going for fast castle? Am I going for second TC? There's no such concept. I was just going through the motion, going with the flow, like doing whatever I wanted, kind of thing. So no clear goal. That's the first thing. And Lowko is walling off. Let's see, if I wanted to do fast second TC, I would have put villagers on stone already long ago, and I would have already had like 300 stone by now. So went for another archer range, which is, you know, you don't really need that because the council hall builds longbowman so fast. You don't really need a second archer range unless you're rushing something. Okay, and second military production building is stable, which make no sense because I didn't see my opponent building archers range units himself. So why do I build stable? It's kind of random. It just it's so weird that at 1200 elo back then I was like had no idea what unit to build and what build order to go for. I had no concept of build order, I guess, or didn't have the experience like what units composition I should have. Like once you played hundreds of ladder games, you kind of just expect, okay, I'm going for longbowman, and my opponents usually will go for horseman to counter my longbowman, so I will build spearman to complete my composition. So it's always adding a barracks in addition to the council hall. And that's it. You don't have to build stable, you don't have to build archery range. But now, you know, it's very clear now, but back then, it was something I wasn't experienced enough to know just yet. Okay, a lot of guys on wood. That was, yeah, I still do this. I always rally my villagers onto wood because you can convert wood into other resources by making farms or making other production buildings. But anyway, the resource allocation was not efficient. Like, I had only 2 guys on gold. So as you can see, I'm not going for second TC. And I'm not really aggroing. Look at this, my longbowman was not on the map. I was too scared to go onto the map. That's another thing. The lower level players have problem with is being too scared of going onto the map. Like a lot of lower level players don't dare to step out of their door unless they have a huge group of army. But in reality is, when you had a little army, your opponent also had a very little army. So it's totally okay to be more active on the map. Just go out on the map. And back to the base. So I was already building a market to trade. That is terrible. That means you are not balancing your resource, your income correctly. I mean, and you have to use the market to balance it. It's a bad solution. Quick and dumb solution. But anyways, I wasn't going for a fast castle. It doesn't look like I'm going for a fast castle. Otherwise, I would have put like 8 villagers on gold at least. So right now I'm kind of in the middle of doing nothing. I'm basically doing nothing here. Like 1200 elo. It's kind of disappointing to see 1200 elo player play like this. But it is what it is back then. I guess the game was kind of new. And I saw that he had second TC. I don't know if it was second TC or third TC, but he had additional TC, so he's turtling. He's macroing up. I was a little bit panicking, like, oh no, he's gonna have a giant army later, huge economy. I have to do some damage, right? So I was trying to break down his wall. Obviously, the correct solution is to mass spearmen and longbow and get blacksmith and build rams to ram push. But I didn't know the build order, I didn't know the unit composition, I didn't play ladder enough to know those things. Okay, we're slowly getting close to castle edge here. Just a little bit. I need more gold here, a lot more gold. And villagers, yeah, working really inefficiently on the berries. Obviously, let's see. Okay, Lowko built a whole bunch of towers to defend this. Obviously he's overreacting. He didn't know how committed I was, so he built a lot of towers, which was not ideal, not the most efficient way to react to it, obviously. But back then, it is what it is. And finally, we're hitting castle in 11 minutes. In a game where nothing happened, and I didn't really put on pressure. I thought this was a nice pressure, but look at this army size. It's pathetic. It's so tiny. All right. King's Palace is good, so I get 3 second TC. Could potentially boom out of this. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was rushing Siege Workshop because Springles is the meta. A lot of food and gold banked up. I would love to see more barracks or archery ranges. I could build a lot of expensive units, or even build a knight. Why don't you build a knight? Build a lot of gold units. You know, knight, men at arm, crossbowmen. These are just universally good units. They can deal with most of the scenarios, most of the situations, and most of the army your opponent throw at you. They can defend pretty well. So just spam gold units since you're getting a lot of gold here, and you don't have I don't have a goal to reach Imperial anytime soon. So just spam more units. And basically, I was thinking to just macro up from here. I didn't have food anymore. So many people on wood. It's crazy. The macro is really lacking here. So my goal was to macroing up, but I was really behind because Lowko went for a fast second TC, and he's probably on Song Dynasty, and he's gonna have very fast worker production. He probably had a way more villagers than I had, and his you know, resource management was probably way better than me. So yeah. Let's see, we're at 100 supply here, floating so much wood. Could have just built like 3 mills and a whole bunch of farm. Yeah, did I? I was trading! Oh my god, I was trading. Okay, that's insane. Alright, actually I thought, at this point, I thought this was a pretty good army. Like, I had, like, what, 6 Springles? Some Mangonels? A bunch of Lumbermen? I thought it was a pretty decent army. But, look at this engagement. I saw him coming, I was kind of scared. At 130 supply, and I checked the replay. He was actually maxed out. He actually pushed out when he maxed at 200 supply. So, before 20 minutes, you max out and you push. That's a typical play style. If you come from Starcraft, you probably play like this. And yeah, I just didn't have enough because my build order was very inefficient. My resource management was very inefficient. My whole plan on the game was a failure. Like, for the first 10 minutes, I didn't know what to do. I was trying to do a Lombo push, but my Lombo accomplished nothing because I didn't build ram, didn't build spearman. They couldn't break the wall. They couldn't put on any pressure, and in the meantime, I didn't macro up because I thought I was gonna do damage, so I was a little bit lax regarding my own economy. So yeah, it was overall, you know, a lot of flaws, a lot of massive mistakes with the Springle just killing everything. And that's it. Game over here. There's no way I can beat him like this. Yeah, that was that. A game from many months ago. Maybe no, not a year ago. Game come out. October, November, something. So yeah, that was that game. Pretty interesting. I was very happy to play Lowko on stream. It's very fun. Look at the worker graph. Wait, what? Are you kidding me? He had 170 workers? How? This is villager count, right? Okay, it didn't it didn't refresh yet. That's total units. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought that was crazy. Okay, so he had 100 villagers, a pretty decent, you know, solid number. And I was had on a very low worker count. All right, so that was that review. And yeah, basically you can see the all difference how a 1200 elo player plays versus a 1400 elo player plays. A lot of things are so obvious to me right now, but it took a lot of time and a lot of ladder games to get here.